Hey guys, welcome back to another book video. I will be sharing a review on Silence, the third book in the Hush Hush series by Becca Fitzpatrick. After reading the second book, Crescendo, I couldn't put it down, and Silence, I just went through that so fast I couldn't put this book down for the life of me. And I'm one of those people who get distracted so easily, and it could take me like a month to read a book because I'll put it down for a week and totally just not even touch it after a while. But I'm really bummed because the next book doesn't come out until fall 2012, so that's at least another 9 or 10 months. I don't know, it's January right now. So it'll be a long time. So that kind of sucks because we're left hanging. They've come to a point where Nora has to make a big decision, and I just want to know what she does. In Crescendo, we were left hanging. Patch and Nora were at the amusement park and they were sharing an intimate moment together, and then Hank and his buddies came and attacked Nora and Patch. That's where we left off. And with the third book, it takes place, I think it's about a week later after Nora was taken away by Hank, where Patch strikes a deal with Hank, and the deal is, spoiler alert, the deal is that Patch would be a spy, basically. So there's war against the Nephilim and the fallen angels. But because every year, for 2 weeks, the fallen angels take over the bodies of the Nephilim, and the Nephilim don't want that anymore, so they're trying to take out the fallen angels. Hank Miller, Marcy's father, is leading that army. He is the Black Hand. So he makes a deal to be a spy for Hank, and in exchange Hank would release Nora and wipe out her memory so that this whole life of fallen angels and Nephilim would be wiped out of her mind, so she could just enjoy the rest of her life and not have to worry about this. But he was going to keep Nora for a while, just to hold her hostage until Patch gives him enough information. So Patch then makes a deal with Hank that he can rip out his angel wings and be a spy for him so he can release Nora sooner. Hank releases Nora by the end of summer. So Nora wakes up in a cemetery with no recollection of anything that happened for the past 5 months. As far as she's concerned, it's still her sophomore year in high school. She's still 16 years old, but really she's 17, and it's the beginning of her junior year in high school. Soon afterwards, Nora crosses paths with a man named Jev. Now, if you've read Crescendo, you would know who Jev is. And she knows this person is a link to her past, and she has to know more. She's just desperate to find out what happened to her, and she can't move on with her life until she finds out what had happened to her, who kidnapped her, and why they took her memory. So she doesn't recognize Jev right away, but she knows that there's something familiar about him. In the last book, Scott bought her a car and wrote her a letter and then left town. He was on the run again. In this book, he comes back and he's really helpful to her in the beginning because Jev isn't telling Nora anything. And so Scott is her best bet at finding information. He was really helpful to her. He explained to her about fallen angels and all of that. Scott is Nephilim, but he hasn't been taken over or possessed by any fallen angels because he hasn't sworn on that oath yet, and he refuses to. So he's on Nora's side. Jev had every intention of keeping Nora out of all this chaos and just let her live her life. And everything changed when she told him that Hank is dating her mom. And that's when he realized that Hank had been double-crossing him. The deal was to keep Nora out of this danger, and she would have nothing to do with this. That's why he wanted her memory wiped clean. But obviously, if he's dating her mom, he has bigger plans for her. He allows Nora to touch his scars, and that allows her to reach into his past. their past. So she sees everything that had happened in the past 5 months. And so that includes seeing what happened after Hank and his army attacked them at the amusement park. And everything was explained. And as a reader, that was the first time we got to see or read and understand what happened, because the book doesn't pick up exactly where we were left off in book 2. And so it all became clear to her. Jev is Patch, but we knew that already from reading book 2. So after her little trip down memory lane from touching Patch's scars, she regains most of her memory, not all of it. She's still a little bit hazy, but she basically knows what she has to do. Now Nora knows that Hank Miller was behind everything that had happened to her, and she's determined to destroy him. It's not that easy though, because she's sworn an oath that she would take his place after he dies, and she would have to lead the Nephilim army against the fallen angels. Now, Patch is a fallen angel, which if she were the leader of the army, then she would be his biggest enemy. So that leaves her in a difficult situation, but whether or not she goes through with it, I don't want to spoil that for you guys. And that's kind of where we're left off. She has to decide what she's going to do. The war is inevitable. It's all about choosing which side she's going to be on. I could definitely see a pattern in the way Becca Fitzpatrick is writing these books. It seems like towards the end, Nora and Patch have a happy ending, but there's always a but. Something happens. For example, in Crescendo, he admitted to her that he loves her, and then Hank and his buddies show up. And then in Silence, he finally decides that he's going to be with her, and he's shown her where he lives and all of that, and that's a big deal for him. Patch is walking her back to her house, and then something happens where she is forced to decide what she's going to do, how she's going to lead the Black Hands army, and so that's basically where we're left off. So she's having her happy ending for about 1 second, and then something goes entirely wrong. And I cannot wait till the 4th book comes out. I don't know how many books there are in this series. I mean, they call it the Hush Hush Saga, and I don't know how many books are in a saga. What is a saga? Like Twilight was a saga, right? And that had 4 books. So I don't know, maybe this one will have 4 books. I don't know if the next one that's coming out is the final book, but on the website it just says the 4th book comes out fall 2012. So I don't know if there's going to be a 5th or a 6th or a 7th. I don't know, but I hope it's not the last one, because I'm really enjoying these books. I can't remember a time when I've been so obsessed with a single book where I just don't want to put it down. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!